Full House, It's a Date, and the Camel. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
I'm sure I'm off key. Melissa.
As opposed to what I do every week, which is frighteningly off key.
You don't frighten anybody. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Ames. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm super curious about a vast and great many things. And you've pulled me again into your whirling, twirling vortex.
Your ADD vortex, where we start one conversation and wind up three
first
later.
First of all, I am undiagnosed because I refuse to be diagnosed. Stop nodding at me.
Yes, me too.
Okay,
Same thing.
So here's the thing. I know for a fact.
Without
any evidence.
Oh, I have tons of evidence.
I don't need any evidence. What's the evidence? Don't bother with your evidence. Listen, I know for a fact that I'm doing my thing exactly the way I'm supposed to be doing it. So here's what's we have to understand. We have to come up with a new definition for ADD, because people throw that shit around like they know what it is, and they don't know what it is. So we need to make ADD mean something else. So when we say, "Oh, I have ADD," and then it'll be something great, which I'm too tired to come up with in the morning right now. But just wait for it, kids. So that's the tease. We've got great content coming your way. Can't you stand it?
How you doing, Amy?
You've heard it. You've heard it here, based on the
right here,
quality,
just now.
Quality
just
of the
now. You're welcome.
It's a little bit ping, ping, pong, pong, happening.
Ping pong, ping pong. I do want to tell you that I have a full house. My son is home. And as I know, I'm so happy. As he's coming home, before he comes home, he says, I have a peripheral friend who tested positive for COVID.
Oh, that's not where I was going. I thought he was, who needs a place to sleep. Yeah, okay.
What would I have said to that?
Is he in the driveway? Come in.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's exactly what I would have said to that. We take in strays. It couldn't be clearer. And I said, oh, well, that's interesting. When's the last time you saw her? Have you licked her? Like all the questions. And then he just came home masked to his room, took a COVID test. She then tested negative after positive. And he said, I think it was a false positive.
I don't think there are false positives for
COVID. I said, I think there are false negatives.
I've been told regularly by the media, who has been known to be wrong, there is no such thing as a false positive COVID test. It's like a pregnancy. You either have the presence of the pregnancy or you don't.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm a little bit pregnant. No.
They can miss the presence of the COVID. They can miss the presence of the pregnancy. Doesn't mean you're not pregnant. They don't mistakenly.
But if
they don't mistakenly find a baby and then go, "Oops!"
Oh no, I was wrong.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's not a baby.
Yeah.
It's just a massive teeth and eyes.
Well, here's the thing. So you know all about it because you live with Shasha. So is he?
Very negative.
What's his protocol? He's just a mean man. He's very negative.
He texted me, I'm negative. I'm like, so am I. How was your test? Tell me about it.
And it's like those tests are only as good as the last 8 minutes. I mean, you kind of have to take them and then time it and timing and all the rest of it.
So last night, I left the boy and the girl, and we went to a bat mitzvah. Now, I told
so that's
you
it for COVID. We're done. We're pivoting away from the COVID.
Well, no, my point is this person is a physician whose daughter was being bat mitzvah, and he had everybody tested as they walked in the synagogue. He had every participant in the whole day tested. So you walked in with your pretty face and mask and semi-formal attire, and you got a swab up your noggin, and they tested every human who went there. And I thought, that's lovely for these, like you just said, 8 minutes, but I don't know that you're not carrying something that's going to show up in another day and a half that you got today from a whatever. So I kind of still masked a little, but I was social. I self-medicated, but I was social.
You really did? You really self-medicated just to chill the fuck out?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm filled with stun. I can't believe it. Really?
Yeah, I had to. Otherwise, I'm still too much in my head. I'll get better. I know I will. And if not, tequila is a good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm super down on Team T.
She lubes me.
That's right. And
she lubes me.
She gets me.
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
She lubes me.
That's right.
So I, while at this affair, I just like using that word. Do you like that word, affair?
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
I like it. While at the affair, I met a candidate for Congress, District Winston-Salem, District 11. Do you know him?
I'm sure I am aware of him, but it's not enough to be like, oh, I know you, boop. Yeah, because we talked together and we used to make out under the bleachers. Like, I don't know any of that.
So Tequila was talking last night, and he said, I live in Winston-Salem. And I said, I have a friend who's in charge of all.
That's true.
I mean, she was out and topless. I wasn't.
That's
Tequila
true.
was.
That's true.
Who's in charge of all, whatchamacallit at Winston-Salem.
She's the mayor of Winston-Salem,
tourism.
right? She's the governor of Winston-Salem City.
All tourism. So anything you've seen that says visit your hometown came from my girlfriend's brain. So
that part is still true, actually. That's true.
I said, so anytime you feel good about where you live. And he asked where you lived, and his wife is a plastic surgery resident. Yeah,
she's in
Year
training.
4 of
She's a pup.
7 million, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were so much fun. I've met the whitest people I've ever known, and I was like, all right, can't talk to you about how disappointed I am with the entire nation today, so I'm just going to swallow.
Was he at least on the right side of history in his politics?
I don't know. I'm going to say no, but I thought he was delightful. Again, Stewart's made comments to me. My husband says things like, oh, this person's a Republican. And I said, that's fantastic. Boy, do I miss disagreeing on content and not a human level. Like, I miss that. I miss thinking we should spend more money on entitlements. No, we shouldn't. We should save our money and have the choice of our.
It's the government's role to protect the health of its citizens.
That.
No, it's private industry's role.
I
no,
miss
it's
that.
the individual's
Don't you miss
role.
that?
Yeah, I actually kind of do.
I
and I
really
also
miss that.
don't. What I would love to miss is having that debate at all. I would love for things to actually feel like we're protected. But, hey, I
want to bring that back because it's
compared to,
yes.
I think that the planet Zoltan is the thing in charge of all of the wrongs in this world. So I'm carrying a giant nuclear bomb in my pocket. No, I've had it. We had a lot of news this week about a lot of people doing
none of it was good.
Doing a lot of things. And I started rewatching Schitt's Creek.
I started rewatching Dawson's Creek.
Bring it. The Creek. the Creek will set you free. So we are creaking it, gal. Because I'm like, I don't need to have any more you in my brain or my body or my spine space.
It's mental health.
Get out.
It's absolutely mental health.
My biggest concern is there a spoon to go with this soup? I'm in. I want that to be the drama level for the day.
I love that. Yeah, I took a gut punch and I was like, you know what? I need Pacey and I need Joey and I need Dawson. Joey.
I have not ever watched the Dawson's Creek. I couldn't even tell you what it's about. But I haven't watched the Gilmore Girls. I haven't watched any of the pop culture things. I don't know any of the stuff. 90210, I've told you this before. I've never watched that.
That's okay. You're missing nothing on that front. You are missing nothing. But I would like if my daughter watched Dawson's Creek, because it is like a 15-year-old angsty kind of thing with sharp dialogue, but it's not as good as what else did you say you didn't see that I was
Dawson's Creek, 90210.
Oh, Gilmore Girls. The writing on that's
You're
pretty
also
good.
Prepare to slap me. It's a good thing we're in different states. I've never seen Buffy, not even a single episode.
I think you'd like it. I'm not going to slap you.
Everyone says I would love it, but I think the moment had passed.
I think the moment has passed too, but I think you really would have
You made me watch all those shows for the people cutting people open, and I watched 16 seasons. I watched kind of clinical depression era season. I back-to-back that shit. I powered through it over multiple weeks. It took me to watch.
Are you caught up now on Grey's Anatomy?
Yes, I've watched. I think I am. I think I sort of fell off when it started, when I had to wait for it. I got caught up in early 2021, and then all they were doing was talking about COVID, and I'm like, I'm watching you to escape COVID, so
correct.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Correct. They don't have, all those shows are no longer COVID-y, and they do have a disclaimer at the end that says, hey, this is fiction. And right now we are still deep in a pandemic. So smarten the fuck up, wear a mask, and get a vaccine. So that's what they all say afterwards now. So we're back to our escape. I don't need to see the same way I heard that. I heard the Rittenhouse verdict and I was like, somebody give me tequila.
I was driving. And the thing, here's how I'd like to frame that. I remember, it's very strange. I'm not comparing.
You're going to make me cry.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to compare. It's a weird comparison because the intent is not to say that the verdict in any way. All I'm trying to say is I vividly remember where I was and what was happening during the O.J. Simpson trial. I actually was on a shuttle bus. I was working at a very large place at the time, and it was downtown urban, so we had remote parking. So a lot of us would get on a bus, and it would shuttle you to and from the parking lot, save you from having to walk a couple miles to get from where you're going. So we were all on the shuttle bus, and we were headed to the parking. And they had the radio going because it was the time before satellite radio. It was just the radio station. And they cut in to read the verdict live. And I remember the feeling in my stomach before they read the verdict was identical to the feeling in my stomach before they read the verdict for the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. And it was sort of similar to when they had the police officer who all of the names are escaping me, when we marched in the streets, right? I'm staring at his picture right now for
Floyd.
For the victim. Yes, I'm forgetting all the names of the people. God rest George Floyd.
Yeah.
So, and the thing in all three cases that really stands out to me, regardless of the verdict, is why on earth should my stomach be turning in knots
and in my
when
throat.
The reality of the justice that should be meted out in each of these cases is so clear. Why is my stomach concerned that it won't be just? That is a bigger problem than any individual case. The fact that I could sit there in the George Floyd trial and be terrified and nervous that Kyle Rittenhouse is going to walk free because, you know what I mean? The same thing happened in George Floyd. Thank God it didn't. But that was the whole thing. To sit there anticipating, I don't know what kind of ending we're going to get here when the evidence is clear. I don't, that's to me the thing.
So I
turned it all off and watched Schitt's Creek.
Smart. Very smart. You had the pre-verdict vomit in your I
heard
throat,
the word
like
not,
the
my jaw dropped, my stomach turned. I just turned the radio off. I wasn't going to listen to 9 more counts of, here we go, white boy, let's do whatever you want to the other people here.
It was shocking to me. I kind of cried, called my mother-in-law, which I don't usually do because she is also bleeding hearty. And
that's nice you have that escape.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe mine ears, and then I completely could. But somebody like Pete Buttigieg cleared it up for me. And then we're going to leave politics, I promise. Just skip ahead if you don't want to hear it.
I don't find this to be political. I find this to be, this is cultural. This is news of the day. And these things are happening. They're happening to all of us. I think it's a pretty cut and dried case. A supremely close, I would say beloved friend of mine is absolutely from that part of the world, absolutely grew up in that state, and absolutely endorses an AK-47 in everyone's closet because it is a cultural shift and it's A-okay. And I love this person. So I already know, okay, even if I couldn't get my head around listen to what someone else is saying, that's easy for me to do. Even if I couldn't do that, I'm going to do it because this person is right in a vast many things. And that person heard this verdict and went, yeah, what the fuck, man? So I already know my stomach is doing the right thing.
Right. And several congressmen have said, let's make Kyle Rittenhouse Day and let's have, oh no, please. I'm not even going to talk about how despicable people are, but I will say when Pete Buttigieg came out and
when
said,
Pete Beady Tits says,
Madafadawada came out.
Welcome!
Came out. He spoke somewhere. I totally miss him, by the way. He was my candidate, and I totally miss him because he said, what do we put him in charge of? Infrastructure? Super, because he just
Thinking big thoughts with Pete.
That's really what it is. He said, do you know that bridges, heights were made so that dark-skinned people on one side of the bridge that they have to go under, the underpass. They couldn't get to the beach. They couldn't bus black kids to the beach because they couldn't get the buses underneath these over. Infrastructure needs changing. And I'm like, what? Is that true? Why wouldn't that be true?
It sounds true. It sounds sickeningly true.
So that is where we are. And every minute that you think, no, we are getting past, we are doing better, there is a racist judge who promotes the systemic fucking toilet shit going on, and here we are. So Schitt's Creek and Dawson's Creek and Joey and Pacey and Dawson are now, I don't watch this really, but it's playing in the background when I mix up the dog's foods. And I think it has a lot to do with, some anxiety and some stress. And that just is a meditation instead of listening to an Audible book, which I also do sometimes, but with that ADD brain, which we again are going to remarket.
We super have to do it. Consider it done. I'm just a little tardy.
Listeners, if you have another
there you go.
If you have another way to approach this ADD, please, BrilliantObservations@gmail.com. It does feel like from the beginning when I started to right now, it is one ADD vomit. You're not wrong. Like, that is exactly what's happening here. Thank you for joining us.
We prefer free-form conversation flow.
Yeah, that's what it is. Free-formed. That's what ADD stands for. Free-formed. So I went to this crazy bat mitzvah last night. A little bit lubricated.
Sent me pictures.
There were 2 women on stilts.
What?
It was like being at the Lion King. 2 women on stilts, and the theme was animals. Which, dear listener, if you are on our Facebook or Instagram, you will know that as I walked in, there was a camel to greet me, a full-blown, double humping camel, and I said, if he spits on me, I'll cry. But I wanted to pet him and love him, but then I knew I was about to get a COVID test 3 feet later, so I was upset about that too. There was a lot going on in my head. So
Stop
Camel.
Stop it. You had me at Camel. So
I posted it. Yeah.
Wait. You have to deal with this properly. We're all behind you in line at the bar mitzvah. We've not seen the camel yet.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, follow me.
Is there a hat on the camel? Is he wearing?
He's wearing a scarf, a pink and white, because that was the theme colors, a pink and white scarf. And he's really pretty. He's a really pretty face, but camel.
How tall was this camel compared to where you are? Like your shoulder, was that at his tooth level? Like what happens?
When his head was up looking around, it was above my head. He was enormous. Oh. He's a fucking camel. He was huge.
How do you get a fucking camel in Pennsylvania?
What? So interestingly enough, because I don't know why I think this way, but when I walk into a party, I pull out my old-timey calculator with the tape. Do you not do that everywhere you go?
No.
Oh, I do. So I pull out the tape plugged-in calculator, and I start adding. And then I hear that sound that only the ribbon, the paper makes. Yeah, that is going through my head. So I'm like, okay, we're starting with a camel. So this morning, I just happened to this morning have Googled. I don't know how my fingers did it.
Oh,
where the fuck do you get a camel in Pennsylvania?
Oh, my God. Okay.
And it says camel packages. I'm like, you didn't just say that, did you? You didn't just make me say that, did you?
How does one Google that without some pornography? Doesn't the camel, don't you immediately think camel toe, and then you're in it?
My girlfriend texted me, camel toe, and I'm like, he had cloven hooves, so not so much. 2 toes. The package, it said, I don't know if this is with whom they booked or whatever they did, but it said packages start at $1,000. So to walk in the door, my machine went 1,000. Now, there were 15 people who were nose swabbing this community that was going, this masked community going in. And I thought, okay, keep going.
Yeah, and I just well, they sell those tests for $100 retail. So
These were even 15 people.
No. My point is, if you have to go get a rapid test, it's $100. It was either $100 or $200 to get a rapid test. So the business is it's easily a $30 proposition per test, wholesale. It's the cost of the test and the execution of it has got to be $30. Has got to be. So
per person.
I'm just helping you with your adding machine lingo. Mm-hmm. Bingo, I should say. Bingo.
So
I knew it was a go word. Yeah.
So as we walk in, I mean, I know you've been to many, and they have personalized kipot, the yarmulkes people wear, and they were there. It was it's animal themed.
It's $4 a head. Yeah.
And then there were masks that they had personalized for her.
Those are $2. Oh, personalized, $2.50 each. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check. Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful.
I saw some cucumber-based animal food art. So there was culinary thematics happening on the plates.
Yeah, I'll send you more pictures. It was beautiful. It was incredible.
So who is this princess of the Amazon? Who is this child?
Coworker of my husband's. Not here where his main job is, but a side hustle. One of his coworkers, his boss, I don't know. He had this. It's his last daughter, and she loves animals. And I think, there was a dog on the invitation. I said, it's not a circus as we're pulling up.
It's like in Bridesmaids when you leave and you get a puppy. Like, is that what happened? Did you get a camel?
9.
Did you get?
I took 9. I think I might have overdone it a little. I overextended myself.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a puppy. No, I mean, it was beautiful. Our friend Crit used to be a dancer at weddings.
Really?
Yeah, she used to wear those little lycra pants and get people to come out and dance and fluffers. I don't know what they're called, but dancers is one of the common terms. So there
is something. It's not fluffer. That's a different sort of a thing.
Oh,
for those who are not actually all a Twitter giggling with the idea of a fluffer, just to be crystal clear, a fluffer is the professional who truly is paid to sexually stimulate partially people on a pornographic set so that they are
ready,
fluffed up and ready.
Good to go.
Camera's rolling.
Yeah.
Real job. Real job.
You don't want to be that Crit didn't do that.
You don't want to be a fluffer. You don't want to be a fluffer.
Or do you?
No, you don't. You don't. You don't. If you want to be a fluffer, what you want to be is a porn star. Aim high, gals. Why do you want to be the fluffer? If you're going to do it on camera. Get the credit. I don't understand you.
I think this is telling me a little bit about myself. I think I'd rather be the fluffer.
What?
There's mystery left there. You don't finish the job.
No. Ew. That's a good thing?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Keeping in mind that fluffer is not for your pleasure anyway. I don't know why I'd want any of it. So I'm out when it comes to porn.
Yeah, I super don't want to do it. But if I'm doing it, I need to be the star. Why would I want to be? That's like the guy who says, I want to be in show business and my job is scooping up the camel shit at bat mitzvahs. That's not really show business.
Is show business? I was just going to ask.
It is because the show involves a camel and part of the crew is sweeping up the camel shit. But guess what?
Yeah,
there's a difference. True. You want to be riding the camel or the camel, right? You want to be you want to transfigure yourself into an animal shape. I'm just saying. Don't be a fluffer, girls. Don't be a fluffer.
This would be congressman in your state who I met, who will be running again for Congress. He and his wife, this was their first bat mitzvah they've ever been to.
Oh, yeah, he is a Yale lawyer, so.
And I said, I don't know what to tell you. They're not all like this. You're not going to see a camel at I could not get over it. And then when I lubricated myself, not with a fluffer.
Did you make out with a camel? Did you make out with that
verbally
camel?
Could not get it. I'm like, did you see the fucking camel outside? Has everybody seen the Did you? No, it's real. It's a camel. There's a camel outside.
What kind of engagement and interaction do you get with the camel? I know you went back there after you got yourself all tuned and
you can
up.
Pet the camel. You can take pictures with the camel. This couple that we met, they said they took an Uber there. He is also a work partner of the husband of this family. They took an Uber. And the Uber driver got out of his car to take a picture with the camel. He's like, I've never seen this before in my life. So he smiles and he's missing all of his front teeth, driving this car. And now he's sending a picture home to his family that says,
"Oh, the places you'll go."
You and Dr. Seuss. I said, this is not typical at a bat mitzvah, just so you know. These stilt walking.
Is it not, though? I've been to some pricey shower the children with gold parties.
Go ahead.
I have.
Camels? Do you have live animals?
There have been. I feel like there was an elephant at something, but maybe that.
Was that a wedding?
I don't remember.
Did the groom come in on it?
There was a wedding at an aquarium once, and it was an Indian wedding at the aquarium.
That's where the elephant is.
There was a lot of saris.
That's the elephant. That's where the elephant comes in.
I think you're right.
That's incredible. Right. I would love that.
It was gorgeous, the lighting.
Well,
so I love when people spend way too much money on their parties and invite me. That's my favorite one.
Do you have a good time at our party?
Yes. Both of them. 3, 2.
So the wedding and the B'nai Mitzvah.
Yes.
So yes, I totally agree. I love it when people spend way too much money and invite me. I really think that's the key to everything. We need to make some super rich friends and
fast forward too.
And
I agree.
Yeah. How do we do that?
Well, we got to lead. We got the two Hollywooders are probably our best path into success for this, because the one is busy telling all of the celebrities, stop crying. It's time to get on camera. So this person is connected with all of the highfalutin glitterati. And then her wife is connected with the money bags. And she's like, stop crying. We're going to the bank. So between the two of them, they're getting invited. They go to the Golden Globes. They go to the Oscars. They go to all the fucking things.
I actually got a text last week from Lisa, our friend, one of our friends in LA, and she said, "Do you mean this place? Remember we podcasted about the pierogi place?
How can I forget it?
I was moist with anticipation.
The pierogi that launched 1,000 trips
competitions. Well, she sent me a text of a huge stein from there, and I was like, she goes, "You mean this place?" Because she did a show out in Pittsburgh, and I said, "Yes, that place. Tell me you got pierogi there." I think there is movement on a date of a pierogi ravioli throwdown.
There's movement.
Tell me.
Well, publicly, I feel as if I've backed you into a corner to commit to a date.
Yeah.
And I'm tripling down on that, that cornerbacking, because I met with said family just yesterday.
Okay.
And I got some shockingly fantastic information. The date is real. You and your husband are expected. So tell him. I don't want to hear that he's not in charge of the schedule. He owns the place. He's in charge of the fucking schedule.
He doesn't
hire somebody
own the
else.
Place.
Hire somebody else. Hire somebody else, because you have to do it. And we have completely, by we, I mean my glorious host, Ava, and her family. Okay? So by that, I mean we have, everything has been changed around this event. So the sausage party has now been converted into a sausage eating party. All of it's going to be made in advance and there for us to sample. We don't have to fucking make it. We're going to do making later. All there ready to go, assorted. All the pierogies are going to be made and ready. I'm on raviolis duty, so I will make all the raviolis. And I think you need to make a fucking kugel. And we're going to do the whole whiz bang, shabiz bang. And they're making fresh vodka for us. I swear to you. God. And we were standing around in a little circle, freezing our tits off, talking to each other last night. It was pitch dark. It was awful. So we were outside in the field doing lacrosse, the whole thing. Why are we here? Why are we here? And our thoughts turned to you, as they always do. My husband walks up, and I say, "Even Stuart's coming." His eyes and mouth popped open, and he went, "Stuart's coming?" He got so excited, and now I'm in it. So I've told this lie, and it must happen. I do it all the time.
I have told this lie, and it will be actualized.
You can't get out of it, Stu.
Say it. What is this? Build it, and they will come.
You can't get out of it. You have to come. And so you have to do it.
Kitchen of Dreams?
Yes. And I feel like we should do, I haven't cleared any of this. Why clear things? I feel like we should do a live recording at the event. I feel like we should do I feel like we should fucking do it. Well, first of all, we're doing it. So let's start there. I'm in. What is it? That's the story of my life.
Exactly. I will price flights when we are finished recording.
Come on. You don't need a flight. Get in a car and drive, COVID.
That's 8 hours.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
I know, I don't.
But you're going to have your husband doing it. And
but my back is not going to make it.
You can bring your child. You could bring your child's. You could bring your child's, both child's. We have hotelists here because we have a bed for every person and a private room for every person in my home, and I want you here. But if you feel better, where you can go and deep sanitize and I don't know, bolt yourself into some sort of vacuum protected room, we have those here too.
Do you have my friend tequila?
I have so much tequila.
Okay, so
it's so good. And when you drive down here, the best part is you can pretend and go on college trips. You can go see Wake Forest if you want.
I think those days are over. I think she's not applying to another college.
Then
I think we're
done.
Then
you got nothing to do but to come down here, and I will feed you the whole
I would want to take her to
time.
Elon College, but she's not having it.
Don't go to Elon. Elon's a fantastic school, but I discount it readily because, and there's no discount, I discount it readily because it's so nearby. So I would fucking drive. Brian?
You said you were sitting on the lacrosse field or side, and you passed along the lie of this is happening, Stuart's coming, and I want to tell you.
But now it's the truth.
But now I'm telling, dear listener, I am very grateful. I mean, this Thanksgiving it's not going to be hard for me to dig deep for, as we look around the table, something for which I am grateful. I have a group of friends that when we are all going through something in our different lives, we are all over the country. We are sometimes all over the world when we travel, and we are constantly on each other's minds. We are constantly supporting each other. I had 2 friends who had kids on fields, and I was grateful that my kids don't play sports. There's a lot of gratefulness going on, and I just want to share that as Thanksgiving comes barreling down on us, I'm just thankful for my friends. And Amy, I'm thankful for you and how you keep me in check at times.
What? Okay. I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to editorialize your sentimental gratitude moment, but fuck off.
I know that you were on the lacrosse field and our friend Carrie was on the football field and her son was recovering from a concussion and he wanted to play and they didn't want it was end of season and it was everybody's biting their nails. What's the score at yours? And the text chain going back and forth was just I mean I'm grateful that I remain. I wonder how we still have friends from college without having had Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. How did we maintain our friendships? I remember I have camp friends. We wrote each other letters.
With a fucking pen on paper.
Sometimes a pencil. Yeah. We had to sometimes in school on college lined paper that we folded and put inside a security envelope that your parents had for, sit down listeners, mailing in bills with checks. Wait,
and
what?
Stamps when the post office worked, y'all. Yeah.
And stamps. No thanks to your fucking neighbor.
I know. He's so mean. I hate him.
Louis the douchebag, which is actually his formal name.
That's right.
So I don't even know how we kept friends. And then I realized I do. We worked at it and we still work at it and we are still there. And I love that. We don't send each other a 6 chin, here's my forehead, crazy face like them kids are. Oh my God, I just turned into John Buchanan. Get off my lawn.
It's okay. If we don't mention John once per episode, we got a problem. John Buchanan, John Buchanan. Check him out.
Oh
guys.
My God. I don't know how.
We're so grateful for you, Johnny. Good old John Jamingo.
Do you think he's getting a junior's cheesecake this year from anyone?
Oh.
Do you think he misses me?
I think he misses you.
Do you know I get a junior's catalog now because I sent him a cheesecake?
Well, I mean, if you're going to spend $17,000 on a cheesecake, I'd send you a catalog too.
Yeah,
and a couple of lookbooks for bridges you could buy. But I know juniors is good, but it costs some money.
Oh my God, it looked incredible, dear listeners. For what are you grateful this year? Is it getting back to normal, even though nothing is normal? even though normal is deplorable. Sorry.
Sorry, that was a great wedding with an elephant. See, I can pivot anywhere. Is it a
camel? Is it a camel at a party for which you're grateful? Is it getting out of the house? Is it for what are you grateful this year? Please let us know. Instagram and Twitter, Listen Brilliant, or Brilliant Observations and Brill Squad on Facebook. Or just write us, brilliantobservations@gmail.com. We are desperate to hear for what you are grateful. Give us something positive to shout about when we sit down at the table on Thursday. Are you hosting Thursday?
I'm not, but I'm going to go first. I'll be your first writer-listener.
Okay.
Because I do actually listen to the show because I have to write the show notes. So.
I have to.
Fuckers. Of all the great and vast many things I am grateful for you about, didn't really work out that way. My favorite is what the artifice of this show has created for us both. We've always been friends. But I would say it's fair that we were peripheral friends.
Yes.
We were in the same group together. I'd love seeing you when we would all get together, but you were not somebody that I would text with the funny thing on Tuesday at 10 a.m. You were not that friend to me. And somehow we have become not only that friend, but after we finish this show, I will text and call you 9 times.
9 times.
Today. With, here's a picture of something weird that I just saw in the trash can. Like all the things that it's like you don't.
Or pulled out of my belly button.
Now you're that person. Can you believe? On and on and on. As if we don't have enough time in the hour and a half that we talk to cut down to an hour plus show that we put out every week. I remember even the stress of not being able to talk to you because we were so desperate to keep it just to show time. And that's it. I was like, no, I'm not. I can't.
I'm over that now.
I gotta get more. This has been so enriching and so exciting to get to know you because I thought I fucking knew you. I don't know you at all. And I've known you for 70,000 years.
At least.
And I don't know, even today, I find out new shit from you all the time. And it's a delight, and I'm so excited. So part of it is the gratitude that all of our listeners feel I get to experience too, because every week there's new Melissa that I get to discover.
New Melissa.
And she's so much fun because then I can go talk to my friend, old Melissa, about new Melissa. And you get to be both.
You just reframed something for me.
I did.
You said, you said, when we would get together, we would have a great time. My sister-in-law, and I don't really talk about my husband's family because I'm afraid they'll find the podcast, but
right. I feel that, yeah.
My sister-in-law says to me, literally every time we get together, this quote comes out of her mouth, I forget how much fun you are.
You've said that before. A lot of people tell you that.
Why do we need to start a podcast for you to figure out that you want to play with me more often than Thanksgiving?
Yep.
No, I'm not doing another podcast.
Yep.
You're my one and only.
I'm trying to say, for the entire first year, well, first of all, I listened to the show for 2 years, when you guys were doing it and fell in love again. And I was like, man, I love these guys even more than I knew I loved these guys, right? Then it became... It's really fucking funny. Have you always been funny like this? I mean, I knew I was always laughing around you and that you were always really funny, but I didn't know that you were the one causing me to laugh and that you were so fucking funny. Like, I just didn't know it. Like, it's so strange to already know something, but then have it proved to you in what feels like a completely new way. That's what you are. And so I get what your sister-in-law is trying to say and what I also have said.
I took it as hurtful when she said
that.
I was like, because it was... When we're not together, I don't think about you. I don't care about you. I don't consider you.
Oh,
but when we get together,
that was just clumsy language. No, you've just scrubbed that out. I don't know her at all. That's not what she said or meant. That I can tell you. I guarantee. It doesn't matter that I don't know her. I know exactly the sentiment that she's trying to say, and this is not a joke. No, the sentiment that because it's a weird thing to try and put your finger on it. You are a private, reserved, formal, dare say, a bit judgy, superior, witty, quick-witted, sarcastic,
girl?
Knife you in the tits with a smile, kind of a gal.
At least it wasn't the back.
So all of that stuff makes one stand at attention, right? So when you first come in, you're like, okay, I got it. I know what I'm dealing with here. This is not your run-of-the-mill Camel. This bitch could cut me. I got to be on my toes.
I got to spit at any minute.
I got to figure it. It's going to be great, but I got to be up to the task. It's kind of like, I mean, I don't want to overreach here, but
it's
like,
call me a camel.
It's like going to a party with Robin Williams. You're not going to walk up to him and tell him a dad joke, right? You know who you're dealing with you. So at a certain point, you're like, all right, okay. All right. So you have this framework of who Melissa is, and it's not a Robin Williams framework. And then you go stand next to you and you're like, was that Robin Williams? What the fuck? So this whole time I thought I was standing next to somebody who was deciding if I was worth it to be in the room.
Really?
Yep. Sort of.
That's shocking
in a very loving way.
No, I don't think so, but okay.
Okay,
but
so you're back now. Okay, right. No. And then
it's shocking to me.
And then you're I don't know. I never did see Mean Girls, or I saw it once and it was mean, so I didn't watch it that hard. But is there like she's nodding and saying I love Mean Girls.
It's a good show. It's a good movie.
Is there a Mean Girls where they all walk around as a pack and say like, we're the ones whose approval you need? Like, is that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so that's you. That's
Gretchen
you.
Wiener.
So that's you. And then you get to know you. And the whole time you're like, okay, so I have no authority to grant approval to anybody. And I'm seeking it from everyone else. So you've had this long con going on all of us the whole time. And you have to become friends with you to figure it out. That's what it is. Because when it starts out, you're like, fuck, I'm not up to this. Fuck, she's judging. I can't. Oh. And it's like, wait a minute. You're just like me? You just got a better rap? Fuck you, man. When did you get the PR team that made you it? You're going, I know, right? It's great.
I think you judge that because of the company I keep. So, dear listener, be careful the company you keep. They might think that you are a judgy camel. That's the lesson to be learned from today's podcast.
Brian?
This Thanksgiving, going to my sister-in-law's house, are you pre-gaming? Who's cooking? What's happening?
It's a super twisto, changeo, strangey year for us because the last 2 years have not had the tradition that's been going on since the earth cooled.
The beginning of time. The time, land before time.
We've already had 2 entire years where we lived through the not get to. My mom has said, yeah, I'm 82. I
hosting this.
I lived through it. And I survived. And what I found out was I like eating turkey. And I don't have to fucking cook it. So, yeah, tag. So, my sister is now the host.
Stop.
Yeah, my sister is 100% the host. And I am, wait for it, I am a guest. So, I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm going to roll up.
That's amazing.
I'm going to roll up with a gift and receive a cocktail upon entry, talk for a little bit, and then sit down to a plate of food.
I'm going to recommend you
help
wash dishes afterwards.
No, I don't wash. I never, my whole life, I don't wash. I have been prep staff for my entire life. I never, ever I'm telling you, I'm not washing dishes. Nope. I'll give you $30. I'm not washing a dish. Somebody else can wash a fucking dish. And they do. And frankly, it's the boy's job. You didn't do shit. It's the boy's job. You're going to go wash the dishes.
Are you washing the walls as well? Or
stop it.
Are you not prepping?
I'm not washing a fucking dish. I'm just not going to do it. But
do you want a kugel ready for you? You want to zoom here, pick it up?
I'm saying. And then the next day when we're doing husband side, we normally, it's a bounce around whose house is it going to be, who's cooking it, and this. And it's grown far simpler as the years have waged on. This year we had a brainchild and decided we're going to have it catered from the supermarket. We're going
Wegmans.
Yes.
Yeah, they make an amazing Thanksgiving.
Well, we don't have Wegmans here. So it's even the thought of it was like, why haven't we been doing this the whole time? Like, what's wrong with us? So we're ordering it.
The same reason that you used to take out the fine china and eat off of it and then put it away. And it's remember we had a podcast about it, the traditions of yore that are gone because...
Well, Nana, on the other side, it'll be Wegmans on fine china. It's always the fine china. That's never... She takes it out every time. She's got a whole... it's not a curio cabinet. It's just one of those very large, tall, it used to be called maybe a break front. It's a very large thing with glass and the thing. Okay. And there's a bunch of Hummels in there. Like she's got some stuff that she puts out. So
impressive stuff.
Out it comes and we use it and we all sit there with our cloth napkins and have polite conversation. And then we wash things and then we have coffee in cups that have saucers underneath. I mean, that's how we do it. And then the children go downstairs into the theater and they play in the thing and we have ha ha ha, chit chit chat chat, light the candles. Yeah. And then on the other side, people are usually in the lawn, in the dark, looking for their iPod because they just had a Nerf game at 10 p.m. and it's lost in the grass.
Oh,
so
shit.
we've got different styles for different folks. Yeah.
So how long will you be on the road?
I am doing the world's stupidest thing, and I'm super excited. So, unfortunately, there was a miscommunication, which led me to book some non-refundable tickets that really make my life uncomfortable. Monday, I'm leaving Raleigh. You can envision a map with Raleigh in the center of North Carolina. I'm leaving Raleigh, and I'm driving to kind of Pittsburgh that night. Next morning.
Did you say driving?
Yeah. The next morning, I have 9 a.m. tickets, so I have to actually be there and wake up and have coffee in me and then physically go to another location because the tickets are at 9. So it's like a 7 a.m. call time to get up and get a move in. Then we're going to Falling Water. So wherever that is, which is south of Pittsburgh.
Tickets for what?
Falling Water. So it's the Frank Lloyd Wright house in Pennsylvania. So we're touring Falling Water at 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning.
Ohio Pile?
Yes. That's that's the name.
By there?
There's a whole there's a camp.
Seen TikToks about it. It's incredible. It's gorgeous.
And we've talked about diverting the travel of our trip to go from North Carolina to northern Delaware every time. That's just a different way. Instead of going to the right and up the coast, you go to the left and then over, right? So it adds about an hour and a half to the trip total, probably a little bit more, but you're also breaking it up over 2 days. So so that's what I'm doing. And it was going to be something else entirely, but leaving all of that out. So so it's going to be really ugly trout. Can't leave until really 6 p.m. on Monday night because we can't. We're physically prevented from. Then we're going to drive up, probably pull an all-nighter, go to this thing, and I'm not canceling it because we've talked about it.
Is it the 5 of you?
No, it's just the kids and myself. My husband can't leave until later. So we're doing a 2-car trip. And I really want to go north of that. After that, I want to go even further into Pennsylvania because I want to go to Camp
Pierogies.
I want to go to Camp Ligonier because there's some British encampment with really spiky fences and it looks really good. And I want to go. But we'll probably bail. I also want to go to Flight 91, which is really sad. But
that's on the way home from Pittsburgh.
You kind of have to, all these things that feel like they're close, that aren't close, we never do. And I'm losing my window. I'm losing my window of having my boys trapped in a car where we can giggle and shut up and play the radio and who farted and we're going and damn it and this hotel room is too small and boy, that Danish was terrible. I'm losing my window. So even though it's going to be ungodly uncomfortable as far as road trips go, I got to do it. He's a sophomore in college. How much longer do I think I can put off we'll go next year? We'll go next year for 5 years because he's been interested in architecture and we've never gone to arguably the most influential American residential architecture site in the country. So we're fucking going. If anything has been reinforced to us this year, even more than, some notable, really painful years in the past, life is short and precious. Fucking eat the cake. Just do it. Do it. Stop telling yourself that there's going to be an easier way, that it'll be more convenient, that there's time. There's not time. There's not.
You just pulled a Nike just do it on me, and I appreciated it. There are things that I look at, we're finishing applications. This is my last She Lives Here rest of the year because I don't ever know when the boy's coming home. I know that there are Thanksgiving break. I know there's Christmas break. And then I'm assuming spring break, he's going to want to go somewhere. We're going to have a house that he could go to, hopefully in the near future.
Beach house.
So I'm just trying to have these experiences. Like, I don't know. He did say last night as I rolled into the house, I think I'm going to Insomnia Cookie. And Stuart's like waiting for you to say, you're not going anywhere. It's 11 o'clock at night. Da, 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 da. And I just high-fived him. I was like, all right, get me a triple chocolate, baby. Love you. High five. All right. As soon as she leaves and spends a semester figuring out how to make it work, he's a grown man now. I mean, he's not. Duh, he's not.
Well, chronologically he is.
But he has when you are responsible solely for your productivity, your time management, and you make it work, to me, that's the biggest sign of, okay, well, I really can't tell you what to do anymore in general. I can when it comes to respecting our home and what's happening here, but you're on the go, man. All you need is a job, and we'll call it a day. We'll call it job well done or job done.
Look at you. Another thing to be grateful for.
Well done. How about just job done? I
said a lot of things to you in the gratitude segment, and I have a feeling it's going to be intercut with, Brian, I have a feeling you're going to do that to me. And I probably would too if I was in charge of the editing and somebody started gushing and saying all of my, softy inner bits. But
I got to tell you, they love that. Dear listener,
I hate it
loves
so
that.
hard, and I am here for you.
Did you hear the other ones where you're screaming, I love sex?
That I do, yes.
I love it.
It's also accurate. I do. I love it. It's fantastic.
I mean, if that drop is better for you, I'm
not.
I will throw that in the middle.
I accept it. I'm here to humiliate myself. I get that that's the theme of the show. I know what's happening.
I wish that I too am here for exactly that reason. I am. And I wish that I could pass that on to my child who cannot exist in a situation where there is embarrassment or humiliation. There's no, I must disappear. I must turn into dust. How do I escape? I wish I could teach. I felt it too at her age, at his age, at whatever. I wish that is something that I could impart on my children where, so what? Be the laugh. Okay. Did you die? Was it physically painful? Because for me, sometimes elephant on the chest, it is physically painful, but it doesn't last. And I think after having like root canal tooth pain and being on a bike where she says it's a 5-minute climb, go. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? It doesn't last. The pain comes and goes. It just doesn't last. So you can outlast any of these things. And I wish that was something that I could teach to my children or anybody else who feels so overwhelmed in the moment or just so stifled or sick about a situation. It doesn't last. And I don't know how to impart that without an audible eye roll or you don't know what you're talking about or dismissal. I just wish I knew how to do that. So if you do know, you, Amy, or dear listener, I'm open. I won't leave the house to get the information, but I am open to receiving all advice.
Humiliation and embarrassment are really the worst. They're really the worst. Humiliation and embarrassment as a response. It doesn't mean that it's accurate. But
it's your perception. Correct. It's not necessarily accurate.
Correct.
Yeah.
So right. The feeling of it is the worst. We all experience it to some degree. And that's the hardest one for me. I can't get over it. What I have found traction doing is the stupidest phrase in the world. And the second I feel myself going into that is to say, Senator, I reclaim my time. Right? So I say out loud, Senator, I reclaim my time. Because it's this whole idea of I'm cutting you off. I reclaim the time for me.
I'm not going to let you take this feeling
Senator, I reclaim
and blow
my
it
time.
up and make
Senator,
it something it doesn't need to be. I'm going to reclaim.
Sometimes I say Senator, sometimes I don't. I reclaim my time. So it's this notion of there was a set amount of time that this was going to happen. But guess what? I'm in charge of who gets that time, and you don't fucking get it. I reclaim my time to be used for some other purpose.
Oh, and it also
helps me. It also helps me identify that there is a finite amount of time that I would have been spending on something that doesn't serve me, and I'm in charge of it. So even just to sort of, it doesn't necessarily work, but when you hear it, it's a nice label. Without judgment,
it pulls you out of what could be.
That makes you feel like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I wouldn't pick up a knife and stab myself in the leg with it and then keep doing it. And then go, ow, that really hurt. Like, what? Okay, so maybe not do it. I'm in charge of the knife and the leg and the amount of time it stays in there. I'm in charge of all these things.
When you can easily spiral, it's a snap back into.
I reclaim my time.
I'm stealing it and I'm spreading it all over Pennsylvania. When you get up here for Thanksgiving.
When you come down here for December 18th.
You're coming up here first.
So.
Yeah,
no, I know I am. It's a super rapid trip, but I'll see you.
Survey says you be the judge.
Okay, so we have some Swift heads in our midst. You want to hear the results of our Taylor Swift survey?
I do. I want to hear it.
Okay, so.
Don't put it out there and not tell me what they say.
Okay, so the question was, Taylor Swift gets a bad rap because, and we had, in a very short period of time, because it's only been, let me see how many days it's been that this has been out there. It's been 4 days since this has been out there. That's not a lot of days.
Okay.
When you think about it. We've had 14 responses.
Okay.
It's pretty good. So that feels pretty good for that amount of time. Taylor Swift gets a bad rap because she deserves it. Oop.
What percentage is that? I don't think that's high.
Taylor Swift gets a bad rap because she deserves it. 35.7%.
No.
Not enough people are willing to admit publicly how much they love her. 28.6%. Haters gonna hate. 21.4%. And Taylor Swift doesn't get a bad rap. 7.1%. I'm sorry, who? 7.1%. And there we go. So here's my thinking, though. I think the survey is flawed, and you're going to be really excited. She deserves it means I don't like Taylor Swift. Not enough people are willing to admit publicly how much they love Taylor Swift, and haters going to hate. Both mean I love Taylor Swift, as does Taylor Swift doesn't get a bad rap. All three of those are I endorse Taylor Swift.
Right.
So if you want to do some pod math, that's 28.6%, 21.4%, and 7.1%, which means it's a percent.
Yeah, so I think it's way more people who do like her who either don't want to admit it or suck a dick. I don't know that I would have phrased the question she gets bad rap. She doesn't. She's exploding. She's not getting it. She gets a bad rap on this podcast from you, but she gets accolades everywhere else.
So I think the survey was flawed in this case. I feel like next week I'm going to do a different survey. It's not going to be flawed. I'm putting out another You Be the Judge, and it's going to be so banging because guess what's going on it?
A camel?
No.
Damn it. Thanksgiving sides?
Yes.
Yeah?
And we're going to rank them. It's just a ranking.
I am creating this week for Thanksgiving. I am doing the kugel that I always do because I'm not invited unless I bring kugel where I go. It was made very clear to me. So I am going to also bring, because I want to try it, something I saw on TikTok. It's a baked cornbread, a baked corn casserole. Ooh. And in it, don't be grossed out. Don't be grossed out. In it is both a can of corn and a can of cream corn. Right? Right? Right?
I'm eating that. It sounds like a corn spoon bread. I'm down.
Is that a thing?
Yes, ma'am. But not as good as the one you're going to make. Talk.
What is canned spoon bread?
Corn spoon bread. Spoon bread is a bit of, think of cornbread.
Go ahead.
And now think of a cobbler.
Okay.
Do you know the consistency of a cobbler?
I do.
Without the fruit. Imagine if your cornbread had that soft, crunchy top, bakey, textury, gooey of the actual cobbler without the fruit, but the whole thing was cornbread-esque and involves a lot of sugar and some extra cornies. That to me
I'm all in on that.
That's a corn spoon bread because you would take your spoon and go, and then
I'm going to take pictures and I'll
let you know.
And
then you don't leave. You just pick up the casserole dish. That becomes your dish. You cradle it like a little lover, and then you just shovel that stuff with the giant tablespoon into your face. That's corn spoon bread. That's why they call it spoon bread.
That's why they call it Thanksgiving.
Spoon face.
Hey, Aim.
Oh, yes.
If somebody would like to give a gift or several gifts to clients that you have and you would like it to come from an artisan small batch baker in the South with wild credibility and an Instagram account which shows you all the deliciousness she is capable of, you are selling brittle.
I am.
Rusty, I'm talking to you here.
Oh, stop.
If you have clients at, I'm going to name a law firm that's going to get him in trouble, so I won't do it. But the largest law firm in Manhattan. If you have
Dewey,
clients
Cheatham and Howe. Yeah.
If you would like at Dewey Cheatham to send gifts to people with whom you work, clients, all that jazz, please contact
joybellybrittle.com, where you can find all the brittle, and more. That's very sweet of you to plug this. I actually took little baby samples to the boys' lacrosse tournament this weekend. I'll be going back there today. And people couldn't get enough of them. They were grabbing that shit. I thought it's cold. People don't want to eat brittle while they're standing outside wearing gloves. Like it's cold. You don't. It's like, would you like some ice cream samplers? Like, I mean, it's hard and cold. Like I just thought this is not the thing. And people were like,
I didn't realize Stuart was giving out samples at your.
They're very bright. They're very bright people at there. So I always make them. Anyway, so yeah, they ate me out of gross. They ate all the samples.
You are one lucky lady on that frost-covered field. You got eaten
Fluffer.
out. All right. Well, I would like to wrap this up, even though we've got more shit to discuss and we could do this all day. I would like to thank you, dear listener, for being something else for which I'm wildly grateful. You amaze me, even especially the 14 of you who decided that you liked Taylor Swift.
Very quickly, too. I mean, that's a short amount of time for people to go and do. So
also the 21 from last week. Did those numbers change?
I can look and tell you. I'll look back and tell you.
You do that. So I do want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up every week. Thank you for putting your AirPods in or listening in your car or making us part of your day on Thursday or Friday. We want to wish you an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope you get to spend it with people who are vaccinated. Please stay in touch. We will do the same. BrilliantObservations@gmail.com. Come see us on Facebook. Come check out the Camel that I posted on Facebook and Instagram and tell me what you would do if you ran into that sweet spitting face at a party.
I'm definitely going to check out the Camel. I'm interrupting your show ending notes. I do it all the time. I know it's your favorite thing.
You interrupting me?
I just want to say it for you, but also for the whole rest of the world. Social media engagement is down across the board logically. I've not seen any of the stuff that you posted on social media about events that you're doing, and it doesn't reflect any lack of engagement or love with you. It reflects that I am not on social media consciously, which is difficult because I have business practices that are on social media. The majority of the world has become gun shy and it is trending downward. So the fact that we're still getting engagement from folks who are there is actually should be weighted more heavily than it might sound by having what appears to be low numbers, because the total population of people who are on social media and engaging with it worldwide is down for lots of reasons that we're not going to do at the end of the show.
Right.
But you've seen television commercials for Meta and for Facebook. You've seen Congress actions for and against. It's in the news in lots of ways that have people saying, yeah, I'm out. I've been out, and I'm super out. So read into that what you will. And when those thoughts come to you, just say, I reclaim my time.
Senator, I reclaim my time. I like to feel like I'm in the Hart Senate building at the time when I do it. Senator, go fuck yourself.
Woo!
I know.
Another one. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. It'll be stricken from the record, but I love it.
I will not stricken anything like that from the record. Thank you for listening. We love you so much. Bye.
Bye.